Hey, what's going on, good people? Welcome to Russ Can Fly. So I know this is a really strange live, but I'm always trying to do different things with this aviation journey. Now, you may be wondering, what the heck am I doing? And what is this live all about? Well, I'm definitely going to give some updates on a couple things on the back end. But what I wanted to talk about real quick, not going to be before you long, is what is one of the most important safety factors of all flight. Now, I know a lot of people are probably thinking that the safest thing about flying an airplane is good airmanship, good communication, good air decision making, a good solid mechanical aircraft, of course, avionics that work, staying proficient and on top of training. All of that stuff would be right. But I am here to submit that I think the most important thing about any flight that needs to be safe is the health and well-being of the pilot. How many times have we seen over the last, I would say 6 to 8 months, where either there was a medical condition that may have been an issue with the pilot, or there was some mental health issue that may have popped up on the radar screen. So one of the things that I make sure that I do, in addition to staying on top of all of my flight training. What's up, Brother Glenn? I see you. One of the things that I make sure that I try to do is I try to stay on top of my health. And so as we speak, and as you can see, I'm beginning to sweat a little bit here. I am in the gym, and I'll show you what I'm doing right now. I'm on this terrible thing called an elliptical machine. Oh, it is kicking my butt. And, you know, I can think of more pleasant ways to spend my time for sure. One of them would be, in a cockpit for sure. But this aspect of flight training and flight aviation is extremely, extremely important. Yo, what's going on? Who is that? Sub-Zero, I see you. What's going on, man? Yeah, we'll do another interview for sure. As a matter of fact, I should try to figure out how to bring you into this live while I'm on this daggone elliptical dime. But anyway, hey, how you doing? Saad? So hopefully I pronounced your name right. So, like I said, I am just in this gym, on this elliptical, trying to take care of the most important instrument that flies in an airplane. It's this and this and this. Mi cuerpo, my body, my mind. And so if anybody, is not taking care of their health, not staying on top of their medications, that kind of thing, I think it's very, very irresponsible, to be honest with you. And if you have any type of condition where you might be endangering the life of you, your passengers, or those of us on the ground because you're not taking care of yourself properly, I submit again, that's a high level of negligence for sure. So that's why I am in here and I'm doing this live, because everything that I talk about, I want to show that I'm actually doing it, that I'm not just preaching, and that what I say, I do. What I do, I say. And so for any of you out there in the aviation field, please take care of yourself. Take time, 10, 20 minutes out of a day, maybe 2 to 3 times a week, work out and move your body. Don't forget to stretch, because one of the things that happens as we age, We lose flexibility. And that's important in the cockpit because you got to be able to move around, maneuver into some of those small airplanes, all of that kind of stuff. The other thing is, as we age, we lose muscle mass, which, muscles, of course, control everything. And the other thing that working out does is it has a real positive impact on your nervous system. Now, here's the one thing that I'll disclose. And for those of you who are currently on here, you will get to hear this now. So let me tell you a little something that happened, because again, I'm always going to be transparent about every aspect of my journey. So, January 7th, unfortunately, my mother-in-law passed away. She was 82, had a great life. And one of the things that I will say is that I watched my mother-in-law battle dementia for the better part of 2 years. And, it was definitely a sad affair. So, as you would suspect, my wife was pretty sad, and I was trying to figure out a way to support her, and it was very, very stressful. January 8th, I'm in here. I had not slept well. I had not eaten well. I was eating a lot of fast food because we weren't cooking, because we were upset. I was eating a lot of prepared meals that are extremely high in sodium. And just as an aside, please, before you eat something, especially if it's a prepared meal, look at the sodium content. I'm telling you, because there is so much sodium and stuff. But I digress. So at any rate, I come in here, I'm working out. I hadn't really had enough water that day. Actually had a couple of sports drinks with sugar and sodium, all that kind of stuff. Well, long story short, I ended up having what they call a heart event. Not a heart attack, but a heart event. Now, let me tell you something. I thought that my ticket was being punched, and I'm not talking about to the big dance and March Madness and none of that kind of stuff. I'm talking about being up out of here. Now, suffice it to say, now that all of the things behind me, I got an echocardiogram. I just recently did a stress test. I am going to be getting a calcium score to see what's going on. And many of you know I'm 57 years old. So I'm not a spring chicken, but don't put me out the pasture just yet, right? So one of the things that was for me was a huge wake-up call that I need to take care of myself. I gotta make sure I get enough rest. Gotta make sure I get in here, of course, but also the fuel that I put in my body is just as important as making sure I get the right fuel in my aircraft. And so, I am not some, big gym goon anymore. I was definitely one of those brothers that could never be strong enough. There was never enough weight, all of that kind of stuff. But it's clear to me that I need to be mindful of my age. I need to be mindful of what I put in my body. And I have to make sure that I get enough rest. The body is only as good as the fuel you give it and the rest you give it. And so it was a wake-up call. And I gotta tell you, sitting in an emergency room with a heart monitor and all these wires coming from me, the first thing I thought, and my wife would kill me if she heard this, was the FAA is not gonna let me fly anymore. So that should have been the least of my worries. But I have to confess that definitely popped up in my mind because I love this journey. And I love all of the folks that I've met, in this journey. Sir, where am I from? I am in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection in the United States of America. So at any rate, that is pretty much it. Again, I just wanted to reach out to pilots, and I did one other video where I talked about health and well-being and working out and stuff like that. And so I wanted to go on record to show that I'm serious about that. That is something that all of us pilots need to be mindful of. So please, ma'am, please, sir, if you call yourself a pilot and you get in the cockpit of an airplane and you're responsible for the safety of that flight and you're not taking care of you, then I think that is just as dangerous as somebody who doesn't continue to stay proficient at their craft. So that's it for me. Oh no, I got one more minute. So I do 15 minutes. I'm at 14. So I'm getting there. But at any rate, Captain Edward, how are you, sir? So yeah, so that's it. And I'm sorry if this video's all bouncy. Maybe if I put it over here. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me. I'm almost done with this anyway. But I just wanted to come on here and, like I said, talk about the virtues of taking care of the most important instrument in the airplane, and that's the pilot. And I gotta tell you that I wasn't always doing what I should do. I definitely was in one of those situations where I didn't practice what I preached because I wasn't taking care of myself. I was staying up too late, working too hard, and it wasn't videos, it's work and not being able to sleep. Sometimes glass of wine at dinner turned into 4. No bueno. So that's all the things that I'm thinking about in terms of making sure I maintain my health and well-being. So that's pretty much it. Just a quick 15 minutes on this terrible thing back here called an elliptical machine. And as you can see, it's not too bad. So somebody say, how did the FAA handle it? Well, they didn't have to. Luckily, Glenn, it wasn't an FAA issue because it was really just a warning shot across the bow. My heart was basically saying that, and my body was just basically saying that it needs more rest. And so they wanted to put me on blood pressure medication because my blood pressure was 185 over 95 when I went to the emergency room. And, that's just nuts. And so back to eating fruits and vegetables. I'm starting to cook my food again. Really abstaining from alcohol and really taking care of myself. And so my cardiologist, I have one of those now, who knew, basically said, yeah, you're not going to need that blood pressure medication because your blood pressure is now 125 over 75. And I never had that as an issue. And I feel great. And as you can see, I was able to do that exercise and talk to you all. And, it all worked out. So just wanted to come on here and tell all my pilots and all my aspiring pilots that may see this live, please take care of yourself. Seriously. Get rest. Don't burn both candles at both ends. Eat good food. And if you drink in moderation. And, drugs, I'm sorry, unless it's prescribed by a doctor, all that kind of, recreational stuff. If you're a pilot, I'm just like, nah, I'm not feeling it at all. Yes, I said what I said. So at any rate, listen, I want to thank all of you for not only being on this live and not only watching this, if you're watching this, back, for all the support. You guys are what's important in this journey, not me. You guys have built an amazing community. I will quickly shout out Mr. Glenn Watson, who's actually a channel member. he is what makes this journey so special. And there's some of you others that reach out, and some of you are members, you are subscribers. What makes this so special is all of you. And I thank each and every one of you for not only watching this live, but watching videos, reaching out, sending a comment, and giving me amazing support. So trust me, I do not take it for granted, because I'm not the star of this show. All of you are. You guys make this community what it is. And because of the fact that you take the time to comment, there are many other young pilots, aspiring pilots that see those comments, read those comments, and they feel that love from all of you as well. Trust me. So with that, I'm going to get on out of here, get a shower, and get some rest. So anyway, love you all. You guys are great. Russ Kid, Russ Can Fly. I'm out. Peace.